Hello, everyone, and welcome back for another episode of the Outdoor Adventure Series podcast, where we celebrate individuals and families, businesses, and organizations that seek out and promote the exploration, stewardship, conservation, access, and enjoyment of the outdoors. This is Howard, host of the Outdoor Adventure Series podcast, and I am, believe it or not, day 5 here with UnCruise Adventures. I am on the Wilderness Discoverer, a beautiful small ship that has the really kind of the unique ability compared to other cruise ships of sailing into some very pristine and intimate locations around the Alaska Glacier Bay National Park area. Today we are in Takatz Bay. It's absolutely beautiful right now. I'm looking out the window and I'm seeing waterfalls. We have been kayaking. There was some paddleboarding. We went on a skiff. There's just so much to do here, just to be out here and enjoy nature. I have the pleasure right now of sitting and chatting with my friends here on the Wilderness Discoverer. Actually, just had lunch with Will and Judy from Junction, Colorado. We just got back from an adventure out on the water. Now we're just sitting having a cup of coffee to get warmed up, and now finally the sun comes out. And so again, it's a pleasure to introduce you to Will and Judy from Grand Junction, Colorado. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Howard. It's a pleasure to talk to you.
Excellent, excellent. So I have to ask now, is this your first cruise altogether?
Pretty much so, yes, it is.
Yes, I have been on other cruises. This is the first one I've been like this. I've never been on a cruise like this.
Okay. Now, as we were chatting, you were sharing something. This is kind of a special occasion for the two of you. You okay with sharing that?
Absolutely. It's our honeymoon.
Your honeymoon. All right. Will, how'd you do it?
I was very lucky to find this woman, and she agreed to marry me, and here we are, having a great time.
Fantastic. Now, how did you decide to come out here to Alaska, come out on the Wilderness Discoverer for your honeymoon? You kind of have to want to do this. It's a lot of effort to get out here. This is not your typical cruise ship. It's not like you've got gambling and partying on the boat. Well, we have a little bit of partying here, little games. But this is very much an outdoor-oriented kind of cruise line. So what was the compelling reason for doing this type of honeymoon?
We did not want to go on a regular cruise boat. All those 5,000 people on a boat just sounds like a nightmare. So we wanted to do a small cruise, and UnCruise was suggested to me by a friend, and we did it.
That's very nice, very nice. And Will, when Judy said, "Honey, when we're going to get married, we're going to go on a honeymoon," and she said, "This is what we're going to do." What were your thoughts to this?
My first thought was, when she said cruise, I thought about that, those 5,000 plus people, and I wasn't sure I wanted to do that. But then as we started to describe it, it's like we like to be outdoors and do a lot of it outdoor stuff. So it's turned out to be way beyond my expectations, and mainly because we're able to offload into these wilderness areas that nobody else can seem to access except by boat. So it's been great.
That's excellent. And when you came onto the boat and you kind of got a feel for what was in store for you, I'm curious, how much were you two involved with outdoor activities before coming here and knowing what you were going to get into?
We do a lot of outdoors activities, and we travel a lot. And we generally do outdoor things when we are traveling, and we choose areas that give us the opportunity to be outdoors and explore wherever we are, be it Asia, be it wherever. Colorado, we just explore outdoors and do a lot of hiking and finding things that really intrigue us. We are naturally curious people.
That's excellent. And Will, as you were coordinating with Judy on the itinerary or the activities each day, and for our listeners, every day the guests on the boat have 2 or 3 morning activities and 2 or 3 afternoon activities. I'm curious, what were the activities that you were most interested in here on the boat?
I like to do the bushwhacking or the hiking type of activities more. Just I'm a retired geologist and worked in environmental science all my career, so I like being out to hike and see the things and have a little bit of a challenge too. Because almost every day they have a challenging hike, and I enjoy doing that sort of thing.
So the challenging hikes, the bushwhacking, I have not been on a bushwhack yet. Here I am, day 5. I think there was an easy one tomorrow I'm going to do. You mentioned that you are an environmental geologist. Are you still active? You're retired?
Right now I'm retired. I'm looking for some part-time work because I've enjoyed the work, and it's just been amazing because we can explore while we're retired. We get to explore some of these areas, but so that's pretty much it. Yeah. And
now you also mentioned that, did you just finish like a textbook?
oh yeah, a couple of years ago I published a book called Lake Hydrology. It's an introduction to lake mass balance. It's Johns Hopkins University published it, and so far it seems to be doing okay. It's pretty technical, but I was surprised that anybody would have published it. So that's kind of where we're at right now, and I may start like a continuing education course using that book.
Okay. Now, the beauty of podcasting is we have show notes. We often put links back to books that my guests have authored. So if you're up for this, we'll put a link back to wherever listeners can purchase the book or the whatever you have produced. And by the way, I do have one highly technical book from a guest on a podcast. It's probably the number one business podcast I have. It's on circuitry. So you could soon be the number one technical author here on the podcast. So I'm curious also, as you were coming on to the boat, and what's been your thoughts on the food here? Because I mean, I have my thoughts. I mean, and also the staff who are here taking care of us.
The staff has been very, very attentive and very knowledgeable. They all know amazing things about and they teach us all the things that we needed to know as we go on the excursions with them. I think the staff has been outstanding, and I've really appreciated them a lot.
Very good. I appreciate you sharing that too, because this part of the staff make a big difference in our perception of this experience, and they certainly go above and beyond. What do you think about the food?
The food's been excellent, and again, I'd like to the technical knowledge of the staff has been great. The field guides have been really knowledgeable about the area that we go in there and cover, and I've got a chance to sit up on the bridge for a little bit and talk to the captain, and he's a retired Coast Guard, 37 years I believe, and you can tell he knows what he's doing. He's got like an old school romantic attachment to the boat. And I feel like I'm in just great hands with him up at the helm.
I've run into him a couple of times, and I do hope to interview him. But my thought was kind of how you just described. He's very passionate, and he just knows so much. And I mean, this morning when it was cloudy and rainy for our guests, it's clearing up now. I'm seeing mountain ranges in mountains I didn't even know existed right now. But just the idea of coming in here with the rain and all of a sudden the waterfalls come alive was really, truly spectacular. I am curious, as you were planning this event, and as you had shared, you've been outdoors for a while, you like outdoor activities. How did you prepare clothing gear-wise so that you were going to be comfortable and prepared for what was in store for you?
Well, I'm initially from Florida, and cold makes me a little bit nervous. So I made sure I had good cold equipment so that I didn't get too cold when I'm out on the skiff or when I'm out doing an activity. So I overpacked a little bit, but I probably will use most of the clothes that I've got. And I've got ski equipment, and I've been very warm.
Very good. That was very important. I felt like I appreciated they provided the shopping list, and then I realized I don't have a lot of the stuff, or it's still in storage. So I'm curious to go back to the bushwhacking. I've been pretty much on the water or on the shore. What's the experience of doing these bushwhacks? What are you seeing out there? What are you most excited to come back and tell your friends and family what you saw and what you did on these bushwhacks?
Well, the glacial system up here have been just amazing to see. I've never seen it in person. The wildlife has been excellent. So far, we've seen seals and bears and all sorts of other critters. And some of the bushwhacking has been pretty challenging, because it's just some of the hikes have been uphill into the mountain areas, and there was some pretty heavy brush. Yesterday when we had it was about a 7-hour hike, and it was 8 miles, and it was new ecosystems too that I've never experienced living in Colorado and Florida. So.
Very good. Now, as we are on the trailing edge of the cruise now, and what are your thoughts for advice or insight that you'd want to share with someone else that was considering cruising? Maybe they're trying to figure out what they want to do. They don't want to go on one of the mega cruise ships. What advice or insight would you like to share with them?
Absolutely go on UnCruise, or at least a small boat. But this is awesome, and I can't wait to cruise with them again. And we definitely will. They have cruises in all these different places, including the Galapagos Islands, which is someplace I'd really like to go, especially with the type of experience, people to talk to us about what's going on. And the level of education for the staff here has made me feel like I can go wherever and get the education that I desire. I'll absolutely go on UnCruise again.
Thank you for that, Judy. What are your thoughts, Will?
I like the intimacy of getting to know the passengers and the clients. We made a point of every meal sitting down with someone new, and so we're meeting all these different people with different, huge, diverse backgrounds and a lot of similarities, and everyone's been extremely friendly, and that's one of the favorite parts of the trip, is getting to know folks.
Amen to that, and it was a pleasure to finally sit down with you today at lunch, and appreciated the company and the conversation, and I also am very grateful you're willing to participate in producing these podcast shorts for me for the Outdoor Adventure Series, and we get to promote UnCruise adventures, and especially the Wilderness Discoverer. So thank you again, and also again congratulations on the marriage, and we wish you a long, happy life together of adventure, and hopefully elsewhere around the world, wherever those spur of the moment decisions take you. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Howard. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Howard. It was lovely.
We look forward to having you join us on a future episode of the Outdoor Adventure Series podcast as we explore Alaska here in Glacier Bay National Park. We are out of the park now and just exploring the fjords in and around southeast Alaska. To learn more about UnCruise adventures, visit their website at uncruise.com. You can also learn more on their social sites, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. If you enjoy podcasts devoted to outdoor adventure, find us online at outdooradventureseries.com. And remember, we welcome likes, comments, and sharing. You can also find us on our Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube pages by searching for Outdoor Adventure Series. And you can also find us on all of the leading podcast platforms. All the links that we mentioned just now can be found in our show notes for this episode. And until next time, we look forward to having you join us for a new episode of the Outdoor Adventure Series podcast. Take care now.